On March 3rd, World Hearing Day will be celebrated across the world as an initiative from the WHO. This year's theme is Ear and Hearing Care for All, which closely aligns to our mission of providing affordable hearing care to everyone, everywhere. This initiative is meant to drive awareness around the importance of hearing healthcare. The reason why I am so passionate about this is because the awareness around hearing loss and the intervention for that adds so much value to people's lives, their communities, and their relationships.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's, when people get help for their hearing loss, not only do their conversations get better, but there's longer health term benefits as well as a result of getting hearing aids. I mean, the statistics are really quite staggering. Could you tell us about them, Tibet?
Yeah, exactly, Brian. I mean, hearing loss is referred to as an invisible epidemic, right? It's invisible because people don't realize how many people actually have hearing loss. And that's also why we have World Hearing Day, right? Is to raise awareness about the numbers of people who actually struggle with hearing loss. So the World Health Organization estimates that 1.5 billion people at the moment are living with hearing loss. 460 million of those have permanent disabling hearing loss, needing intervention. And the reality is that that number is going to double in the next 20 years. So it's a staggering number of people. I think in the US alone, 48 million people have hearing loss. And the reality is that only 1 in every 5 are actually getting the treatment, hearing aids, that they need.
Wow, so clearly hearing loss is just such a huge global problem, which is why the WHO is trying to raise awareness about this. Are there any other things that you believe we should be aware of, or ways in which we can support those people around us that might be living with hearing loss?
Exactly, Celine. I think it's not just the fact that hearing loss is so prevalent, it's the fact that its effects are so pervasive, right? So hearing loss actually affects almost every aspect of an individual's lives. Communication is affected, social participation, but even education, employment, quality of life, and even health outcomes are affected by it. The good news is that if we use treatments in a timely manner, hearing aids, which is the most common treatment for hearing loss, those effects can be dramatically altered, mitigated, and even negated entirely. So that's the good news.
And how would someone know that they have hearing loss?
Yeah, Gita, that's a good question. So it's an invisible epidemic, but there are telltale signs that tell us someone probably has a hearing problem. So one of those is the fact that you put up the volume. So typically it's not you who notice that, but it's the significant others in your life that say, don't turn down the volume of the television, right? Other signs is that you ask for repetition or people to repeat themselves. You don't hear, especially in difficult situations like restaurants where there's lots of background noise. That's another good sign that you probably need a hearing test. Another important one probably to mention is the fact that if you have a hearing loss, even a slight hearing loss, it can result in significant fatigue. So at the end of the day, after you've been in meetings all day, listening to people, you get back home, your energy is just gone. And that's another sign that you may have a hearing problem.
Yeah, and it's one thing to recognize that you have hearing loss, right, and come to terms with that. It's another to actually go out and get a hearing aid. And two key things have really kept people on the sidelines from actually purchasing a hearing aid. And of course, this has been through research over the years, and it's cost. Hearing aids are expensive, too expensive. They can cost upwards of $4,000 a pair for a real high quality pair of hearing aids. And two is access. I mean, think about it, it just takes time out of your life. You have to make an appointment, go see someone, go back to them, have them adjusted. It's a really complex thing. We just all live modern lives that's just too much of a process for us. So there's a real opportunity for us as we look forward for Lexie Hearing in addressing two of those key problems.
Yes, and I think one of the things which makes all of us really excited is the announcement of the OTC legislation that came about in 2022. So on October 17th, the FDA announced the OTC legislation coming into effect, which allows that anybody can now go to a pharmacy, a big box retailer, and pick up a pair of hearing aids at a fraction of the cost. As you said, traditional hearing aids would cost upwards of $4,000. We're now seeing, OTC hearing aids being under $1,000, sort of a quarter of the price that we would see traditional OTC hearing aids. And I think this is exciting because this is just the start, right? What can we see in the future? What can we expect in the future? And one of the things that excites me is the ability for us to bring the cost even further down. We're now seeing consumer chipsets being brought out on hearing aids, being able to even drop the price further by as much as 50%. I anticipate that more brands will enter the space, making the form factors more known to us, like these earbud styles. Potential entrant is Apple. But then, of course, I think super important in this space is to make sure that we maintain the quality to the consumer. And that's something we want to make sure that we don't miss out on. And the Lexie Hearing platform is so unique, where it provides an end-to-end customer journey from the start, engagement, pre-purchase to post-purchase, and actually getting them the care that they might need.
So those are really exciting developments. And the reason is because they truly align with what consumers are looking for today. Consumers want more control over their health, and that's exactly why digital health has really taken off. Consumers also want products that fit their lifestyle. They're affordable, they're easy to use, and they're easy to access. They're convenient, right? So that they can go online or they can go into a store on their schedule and buy it. That's exactly what they're looking for. And that's why the timing of OTC hearing aids couldn't be better.
Yeah, one of the great things has been the ability for us as Lexie Hearing to partner with other brands to be able to bring this to a reality. One of the exciting partnerships that you might know about, of course, you all do, is our partnership with Bose. Two great brands coming together. One who's known for legendary audio performance, and of course us as Lexie Hearing and our deep knowledge in audiological and also customer relationship areas. Okay, so two powerful things that we've built into both the Lexie B1 and B2 hearing aids, and hopefully many consumers will be able to benefit from those as well.
Yes, Brian, I agree. And one of the big misconceptions in the space is that I would have to sacrifice on quality, features, and service by getting a much cheaper device. And I don't think necessarily that that is the case. We've clinically proven now that you would not have to sacrifice on any one of these by getting an OTC device. And if you had to compare the difference between OTC devices and the traditional hearing aid business, is mainly the tech enablement thereof. The ability for us to now use our phones, which are connected to our hearing devices, and use those phones to not just set up our devices easily in the convenience of our own home, but also the ability for us to use those devices to get remote support from experts when we actually need that, actually putting that control of your hearing in your own hands.
It really just is, like, all in all, an incredible time to be in this industry, right? And for us as Lexie Hearing to be able to be playing in this space, I feel like now is the time where this theme of hearing care for all, ear and hearing care for all, it is most likely to happen now. And I think this was a really important discussion, a necessary one to have, and a good reminder that we are working towards a good cause, and that is bringing healthy hearing to everyone, everywhere.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's like